All right, chat, here we go. TWaB. I'll tweet that I'm reading it. Badoosh. All right. This week at Bungie, 8/26/2021. DMG. Where even begin? Yeah, there's a lot of fucking shit. God, she looks so cool. Can we talk about how fucking awesome Savathûn looks? They really just they knocked her design out of the park. Like straight up. Love the moth wings. She's got like the very regal looking like hive chitin for her body. It's so cool. I love it so much. She looks so awesome. All right, Tuesday was a big day, really big. So big, in fact, a little bit of news ended up slipping into Wednesday. Many of you were tuned in to watch every detail as it was revealed, but there was a lot to cover. Let's do a quick recap for the new lights out there. Yes, you're about to read an onslaught of links, but we couldn't possibly cover everything without this turning into something that looks like patch notes. The Witch Crew was announced. You should watch the reveal. It was very good. Season of Lost is live. We're playing it. It's very good. Crossplay is live. Fuck yeah. Bungie names are a thing now. 30th anniversary thing happening this winter. Yallerhorn, a dungeon, and a 6-player activity. It's gonna be great. Quality life improvements. Battle Eye is now a thing. There's a lot of trial stuff coming. If you haven't read that, you need to read it. It's huge. It is on the hiatus until the 10th of September, so it's got like, what, 2 more weeks? Yeah, 2 more weeks from tomorrow, so 15 days away. Let us start with some... Okay, anyways. Let's start with some expectation settings, shall we? During Destiny 2 Showcase, we spoke of reworks coming to all light-based subclasses in Destiny 2. While we showed you a small glimpse of gameplay, we thought it would be nice to talk about what the rework really means. But first, let's talk about the update on our Bungie Foundation initiatives. Last week, we announced multiple charity initiatives with goals of helping those in need around the world. This community has proven time and time again that gaming does good and that we're all guardians of the world. Bungie Foundation. Today, Team Rubicon and Direct Relief have teams on the ground across the world and are actively providing life-saving medical care, critical medical and PPE supplies, food, water, and shelter to hundreds of thousands of people in need of following the recent natural disasters, including the Haiti earthquake, West Coast and Mediterranean wildfires, and Tennessee and Germany floods. They have not let up on their mission to vaccinate vulnerable populations against COVID-19. Thank you to each of you who have pre-ordered a Guardians for Hope t-shirt, made direct donation, or purchased the Bungie Foundation collection on the Bungie store. We know that this has been an incredibly challenging, overwhelming year for everyone, and your continued generosity is truly humbling. Over the past week, you've helped us raise $125,000 just for a week, chat. Keep the support train rolling between now and next Wednesday, September 1st. You can help us reach our goal of 500K to help Team Rubicon and Direct Relief. This is the emblem you can receive for $25. Got a Shaq shirt. Another emblem. And then make a purchase from the Bungie Foundation collection from the Bungie store and receive the Planet of the Peace emblem as well. All right, into the void. Starting in Witch Queen, we'll be aiming to give light classes the stasis treatment season over season, bringing more customization to Guardians and new ways to engage with their abilities. While the team is still deep in development, Sandbox Discipline leads Kevin Yanes and gameplay designer Samuel Dunn are joining us to walk through their goals and abilities and what the upcoming reworks will bring to the table. Hey everyone, Kevin from the Abilities team here to share some sweet details about what's coming next. By the time this gets posted, I assume you will have had the opportunity to see what's cooking here in the Bungie digital kitchens. The world, characters, and story are all moving forward, and things are changing big time. D2 is evolving, and that means the sandbox needs to evolve with it. Previously, I laid out a roadmap of changes that got us to Season 15 with some vague hints about the future. Now that we're here, I wanted to plant more flags in the ground about where we're going next. Straight to business. Throughout Tuesday's reveal, we watched as you all reacted to the Witch Queen Season of Lost and 30th Anniversary. Part of those reactions were on subjects like subclasses and stasis aspects and fragments. I feel that before we move forward, we should rip a few bandages off. There will be no new Darkness subclass with Witch Queen or through Year 5. Made this call to refocus ourselves to light subclasses this year. As you'll see below, this doesn't just mean we port, but that's also new and exciting stuff too. No new stasis aspects and fragments arriving this season. Similar to above, we wanted to focus on different initiatives instead of adding more stasis. Feel like the subclass build variety is in a good spot and was likely to benefit from tuning changes more than the new stuff. Then we prioritize Season Lost Balance patch, another patch you'll hear about below, debuting with 30th anniversary. Combat Reforged. Grimes. Today, you're going to read a quick tease on the future we're calling Void 3.0. A new interpretation of the Void subclasses and fantasies. In the coming weeks, you'll hear about changes we're making to how players regenerate ability energy and how these changes are going to affect PvE and PvP with our 30th anniversary release. A few examples of changes in the pipe: a reduction to how many one-shot kill abilities are available in the Crucible, and shifting super energy regeneration to so players are rewarded for participating in combat versus waiting for a timer. Later in Year 5, we hope to share more info on an initiative team is discussing internally right now, making ammo generation a more deterministic and consistently paced experience across all activities. I hope that what I'm describing here paints a clear picture. The game is evolving for the better. D2 is a living game. As we head into the 5th year, we're looking at how we can evolve the sandbox you know and love to not only create exciting new experiences, but to better polish ones that haven't had that much love since our launch in 2017. We have learned a lot over the years and with each iteration of the sandbox, and we're hoping to apply those learnings through Year 5 and beyond. I hope you're all as excited about the future as I am. Brave New World. Okay, first off, very cool. As you saw in our reveal event, we're going to be doing some serious revamps to the existing light subclasses in D2. Our Void, Solar, and Arc subclasses and damage types have been with Destiny from the very beginning. In fact, some of the players' fantasies and mechanics in Destiny 2 today are the same that debuted in Destiny 1 back in 2014. And while we've had refreshes in 2017 and 2018 with Destiny 2 and Forsaken, these subclasses have in some cases been left behind by the new power bar and build crafting goals of the game. To help solve that problem, we're going to take these subclasses back into the shop to retrofit, remix, and reinterpret the gameplay fantasies and mechanics by integrating them into the modern subclass experience. It looks very cool. In Destiny 2, Beyond Light, we introduced a new subclass system we debuted internally as Subclass 3.0. The goals of Subclass 3.0 were to create an experience that gave players more customization akin to Destiny 1, while also meaningfully evolving that experience. To us, Destiny is best when build crafting, best-in-class action, and power fantasy all meant to create gameplay experiences that you can't get anywhere else. Staring out into the void. With Void 3.0, we're taking the subclasses you know and love and remixing them. That means adding new abilities and mechanics, ditching some old ones where it makes sense to do so, and spreading out existing ones to create enticing new combinations. Our hope is to retain playstyles you know and love today and to create some exciting new ones you didn't even know you wanted. We can't wait to see what you all think about these changes, and as always, we're going to be looking for and responding to feedback. With all that said and done, I'm going to bow out and let the team do the talking. Sam Dunn. Howdy everyone, I'm Sam Dunn, ability designer of the Sandbox team, and I'm here to dive into a little more detail of what you can expect from Void 3.0. A new shape. As Kevin detailed above, we're in the process of updating Solar, Void, and Arc into the Subclass 3.0 system as used by Stasis, where you can pick and choose from a selection of supers, grenades, melees, and aspects and fragments. So many words. To craft cool and unique builds tailored around your playstyle. In the Witch Queen, you'll experience the first phase of this metamorphosis as you wield the powers of the Void in your fight against Savathûn and her Lucent Brood. It's important to reiterate that this update will change things. D2 has evolved significantly in the 3 years since Forsaken. We believe the light subclass need to shake up to keep pace. Much of the Void gameplay you know and love will continue to exist, albeit in different form. A few things won't be returning, and there are some exciting new additions we think you'll have a blast with. Here is our goals for the rework. Okay, this is a little more than I thought it was going to be in here. Preserve the strong existing power fantasies of the Void. We want to focus on what makes the damage type fun to use and give it a cohesive identity that can be felt throughout your subclass, while also adding sweet new toys that feel like a natural extension of your Void powers. Provide new and exciting build crafting possibilities through the combination of aspects and fragments. We want you to not only be able to craft similar playstyles to the old subclass diamonds using the new system, but also to explore a bunch of new ways that your Void abilities can work together with your armor and weapons. Set up a framework for the systemic integration of the damage type into the rest of the game. We believe that Stasis was very successful in providing a set of shared combat behaviors or verbs that can interact with each other and other elements in the game. With Void, we want to double down on this effort and reorganize the subclass in a similar way. We're planning to continue this with Solar and Arc going forward. Say the keyword. Oh god. What are these symbols? With the Void 3.0 update, we're defining a set core of keywords that will be used by various perks and each abilities within each Void subclass, akin to Slow, Freeze, and Shatter, verbs used by Stasis. Each class will specialize in a few of these verbs, but will be possible to dabble in the rest by coordinating with your fire team or with certain combinations of abilities and fragments. Additionally, these verbs will appear in other places outside of the subclass's screen, weapon perks, exotic armor, and mods for your seasonal artifact. And we intend to continue expanding that list as we move forward. We believe that these systemic interactions between your abilities and your gear are the core of the Destiny build crafting game. This is just like somebody's video. More than likely, if they're a content creator and if they were invited to hear about this, spoilers, I knew about this. This is stuff I've already read before and I got a whole presentation on. So I mean, I can't speak for them, but if this is like verbatim, that's a little sus. But yeah, potentially that person already knew ahead of time and they made a video about it. Anyways, within Void, there are 3 negative status effects that you'll be applying to enemies. Suppression. The target is knocked out of any active abilities and can't activate any ability movement modes as long as suppression persists. Afflict enemy AI combatants cannot shoot their weapons. Weaken. The target takes increased damage and has their movement slowed. Enemy AI combatants fire their weapons with decreased accuracy. Volatile. The target is afflicted with an unstable void energy and will explode upon taking additional damage or on death. The 3 positive effects of applying yourself and allies. Void Overshield, a protective barrier of void light which reduces damage taken from combatants. Invisibility. Invisibility. Devour. You feast on the energy of your foes. Kills restore you to full health. Grant grenade energy and extend Devour. These verbs should all be familiar to veteran players, but now exist in a new, broader systemic framework that will allow us to consistently spread the behaviors across the game, where previously they mostly existed in their own siloed off subclasses. Old dogs, new tricks. To close this section out, here's a preview of some of the new updated abilities to be able to play with since Void 3.0 drops. Whew. Night Stalkers. Mobius Quiver. Fire 2 volleys of 3 Void arrows in a cone which seek out enemies and spawn Void anchors on impact. Shadow Shot makes tether enemies volatile and deals increased damage to tether targets. One of the main usability pain points of the current iteration of Mobius Quiver is having to press the super button input a whole bunch of times to fire each arrow individually, which is cumbersome and takes a lot of time, and often results in the player drifting somewhere they didn't intend to be, off side of a cliff, or, as a type of hypothetical example. By firing multiple arrows at once, it should be a lot easier to blanket the area with traps in preparation for a fight to put burst damage on a boss. Stylus Executioner aspects. Defeating a weakened suppressor volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a Stylus Execution, your next melee attack will while invisible weakens enemies. A twist on the Night Stalker's current Flawless Execution perk. The aspect lets the hunters specialize in defeating debuffed enemies to keep looping their invisibilities. Settle Titan. Overwatch. Cast a Void Empowered Barricade to grant a Void Overshield to yourself and nearby allies. The Void Empowered Barricade slowly regenerates the Void Overshield of allies bunkered behind it. I love the idea of combining that with, like, a Rift, right? We want players to be able to learn to lean into the Sentinel fantasy of being on the front line protector for your team, so Overwatch is a powerful tool for setting up prior to an encounter and providing a safe haven to fall back to when things get spicy. Shield Toss. Hold your shield towards an enemy. The shield can ricochet off enemies and surfaces, granting you a small chunk of Void Overshield for each enemy hit. So it's a projectile melee. It's not a super. Shield Toss is a great choice for aggressively pushing forward to groups of enemies, softening them up and giving you extra staying power. I wonder if the Glaive made this possible, because now they have like that back-end engineering data probably already produced to ideally put on other classes for other things. Warlock. Pocket Singularity. Projectile melee. Launch a tracking unstable ball of void energy that detonates when it nears an enemy, pushing targets away from the blast, making them volatile. Designed as an anti-dive tool and a way to push enemies out of cover. With careful placement, it is possible and incredibly satisfying to bop enemies up into the air and then pop their volatile with a well-placed headshot before they hit the ground. Child of the Old Gods aspect. Cast your Rift to summon a sentient black hole which hovers at your side waiting for a target. It will launch itself at enemies, then begin siphoning their energy and weakening them, refunding their life force back to you as either grenade or melee energy if you're using a healing rift, or health if you're using an empowering rift. Defeating enemies who are being siphoned by the Child will refund some rift energy. Child of the Old Gods is a strong debuff tool that gives Void Walkers an additional way to lock down an area while sustaining themselves. It's a Void Buddy. It's Arc Soul, but Satan, I guess. All right. We hope this preview sparks your curiosity and gets you thinking about cool new Voida builds. Have you ever wanted to run Spectral Blades and Vanishing Step, Ward of Dawn and Controlled Demolition, Handheld Supernova and Devour? There are a lot of new possibilities. As we get closer to the Witch Queen, will be dude. So that means here. I'm gonna go ahead and say what this says, but they didn't actually say it this way. Do you want to use Vanishing Step with any super you want, or alternatively with a melee that can make you invisible, thus giving you 2 abilities to keep you invisible very frequently? Do you want to run Ward of Dawn with literally a way better subclass kit? Do you want Devour on anything? Like, that's what that's saying to you. That's what I'm reading this as. So, very high chance that you're going to be able to do what you've been wanting for a very long time. I'm excited. We are really excited about what's cooking up. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it. In the meantime, check out the ability balance update that we released with Season of the Lost Destiny 2 Update 3.3.0. Thank you for your time. See you soon. Okay, real quick for moving on. So yeah, this is pretty much, I think, the last thing I can think of that Bungie talked about at the most recent summit I was at. Everything from here on out, I think they've said everything. Or if they told me something else, I have forgotten at this point. But yeah, they actually told they told us about these specific examples. And I like lost my fucking mind. First off, a very easy invis kit for just defeating enemies. Awesome. The barricade giving you the overshield, insane. And then the little void buddy, I was also once again lost my mind. It was very exciting. But yeah, from here on out, I think that covers like everything that we talked about, because like the big stuff was like this, the anarchy change, the barricade changes that came out a while ago. But yeah, everything they told us about, they've already like are implementing into the game for the most part, minus this, which is kind of farther away. Hi, bud. Yeah, there you go. Hi. Are you gonna be a good boy? Be a good boy today? You want next Critches? Is that what you want? Okay. What do you want? Just want attention. Yeah, I didn't, the Mobius Quiver change, I'm curious how it's going to interact with bosses. Reason Over got such a big buff is because it's possibly on the chopping block. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like they're removing supers. If I'm being completely honest, this would have been the time to say, hey, a super you love is gone. You know what I mean? Like, you hit him with, like, a lot of really cool shit and be like, hey, that thing you don't like, it's, you know, we're getting rid of it. It's fine. And the fact they're keeping Spectral, like, definitely makes you think that they're going to keep something like Nova Warp. Which makes you wonder. I'm actually curious if that means they're not going to be changing. There was a discussion about, like, what if Chaos Reach was removed and Stormtrance got buffed, which now I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think they figured out a no bomb going. No, chat. I'm saying that they're not. Like, that they would have told. I think they would have said something at this point. Going back to the old allocation system D1? No. They're using stasis. Like, don't think about D1. They mentioned it in passing because the concept was about choice, but the reason it's not D1 is because they're giving you good choices, not shitty choices. Stasis has a lot of good choices. D1 subclasses have a lot of shitty choices that don't fucking matter. That's why you got to think about it more in line of a stasis than D1. Anything else? I kind of want to go back to playing. There is a lot of known issues. Holy fuck. It looks like that's it. Oh, good art. Very good art. Good art. Oh yeah, we can learn about, I was going to say, I don't really know her voice actor yet. Along with all the amazing Savathûn fan art, we have also seen a lot of excitement and questions around who is voicing the Witch Queen. We're happy to announce it's none other than talented Deborah Wilson. We asked her about her experience voicing the iconic Destiny villain's debut. Voicing Savathûn is like a dream come true. So many deep layers of this character, exploring them all is why playing her will draw you into the story, the plot, and this fantastic universe of a game. Make it your destiny to play. They bring all this possible, true without a passionate community, fueling the fires of inspiration and motivation. Who knows where we'd be? What a wild ride it's been. Next month will mark 7 full years of Destiny, 7 years of Space Magic, Crucible, patch notes, community, and more. Still have more to go. Let's start by taking our next steps in the season, shall we?